It's just a nice way to start.
That's when
just
Maddie got fired.
I never got fired.
No.
I left under duress.
Under your own free will.
Under my own duress.
Yeah.
Anyways, funny story. Full circle.
Full circle. Full circle. Jerkle. Oh, there goes a follower. Down to 15.
15?
I don't know.
3.
No, more than that. On YouTube, 17, I think.
Really?
Yeah, last time I checked.
Whoa.
Yep. Getting up there.
My mom?
Yep. All of our family members. I don't know. I don't think your mom.
Mom doesn't know how to use YouTube.
No, I don't think she's on YouTube. My mom, I was telling her about it the other day. She's like, I love your videos. And I'm like, you watch them? She goes, yeah, the ones on Instagram. I'm like, oh, but not the YouTube one. She goes, yeah, I don't know how to work that.
That's good.
Yeah.
She can watch the 30-second clips.
Yeah, I don't think she should watch these. I don't think she'd get through it. I wonder though. Like, she really likes listening to you and I. She says that like that's her favorite part. Is just listen to our back and forth.
My friend from yoga teacher training that I saw recently said that too. She's like, you guys just have the best chemistry. You know who you are and we love you.
Oh. I wish I knew 2 elements on the periodic table that were next to each other. Because I was going to make a joke that we're like those 2 elements, but I don't.
We're like,
do you?
No.
No.
Do I know?
2 elements.
Do I know anything? The elements.
The elements. Okay, should we hop to it?
Yeah, I'm just worried I have something in my teeth. We're both so blind.
No.
No?
No. You don't, actually. You don't. Okay. What's the top? I know.
Still, so.
I feel like it just started doing this. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, because it doesn't want to live here anymore.
Yeah, no. It's not a good chair. I'm barely moving. Okay.
Okay, so today's topic?
Yeah.
What to expect from therapy.
Yeah. My mind just goes so many places. What did I have written down for number 1?
Why were you laughing at me?
I'm laughing at myself because this is so hard for me to like dial in what my mind is just going to go off in 1,000 directions and I'm going to try to define 50 terms.
No, just stick with a couple.
I know, but it's so hard.
Well, that's why I'm here.
I feel like I need to make a dictionary first.
No.
Yes.
No one would read that.
No, I know. Homy dictionary. Okay.
No subscribers. Okay. Yeah, like thinking about when someone's coming to therapy, maybe for the first time, maybe when they haven't been for a couple years, maybe they're connecting with a new therapist or a different type of therapist.
That's a lot of things.
There might be a variety of things that they could expect.
Yep.
Some of the things that you can expect when you come and sit down in a therapeutic setting are...
I can actually hear the crickets. Well, what did I have for number 1?
I think
there's just so much to talk about.
Yes, and we have so many opportunities to talk about.
Okay.
So this is just a part.
Yeah, and I suppose number 1 would be to sort of maybe get rid of your preconceived notions about therapy. Not get rid of them, but like check them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think that would be a good one.
What expectations you're coming in with, because we talked about this last time, but most people think that therapists are there to give advice. They're there to kind of tell you what to do.
fix
the problem. I don't see that as a therapist's primary role. And caveat that I say every time, this is my opinion on how I do therapy and counseling and how I have sort of gathered it to be most successful in the ways that I think are appropriate.
And yeah, it's not about not having expectations, but maybe being open-minded.
Totes. Open-minded.
What do you think some realistic expectations could be, though?
Realistic expectations is that,
or maybe not even expectations, but realistic, like, hopes.
Well, you're not going to be completely fixed and better. Like, I think we all have this idea that, like, there's maybe like an end game or an end goal or an end thing that you get to in life in general, where it's like, you know, once I do this, then I'm going to be happy. Then I'm going to be at peace. Then I'll be in complete bliss. I don't know if that exists. I think that life just continues to throw curveballs. But actually, you know, like, I don't think you're ever done the work, so to speak. I think what therapy gives you is, like, you do work through a lot of experiences, and that will happen if you have a good one. But it gives you like a repertoire to cope better, and like a new language almost, and a new sort of like resource, like an internal resource to cope with the crappy things of life, and to heal the experiences that you've gone through in the past that are actually affecting you in the present. And every counselor is going to go about that a different way, but fundamentally, I think that's what we're all trying to do, is like identify the difficulties inside and resolve them, or give you the best possible tools to resolve them. It's like, I always use sports analogies, but like, there's never going to be a perfect hitter. You know, MLB hitters are successful if they hit 300, you know, if they fail 7 out of 10 times. You can get really, really good, but you're still going to fail. You're still going to have struggle. Like, that's the same thing, but you can get way better at like learning how to cope and learning how to just go through it in better ways. And therapy is a really, really good way to do that.
I do think that that's something that, even like when I was a counselor, learning that was a fault of mine, of wanting to like come in and fix, because that's what I also wanted in my own experiences as a client. I was seeking out therapy to fix me. And I think that that's been a big shift for me, even just like recently, of being able to view therapy as like, if something has happened in your past or some sort of traumatic experience has happened, therapy will never take that away. It will never make you invincible to bad things happening. But your acceptance to what has happened, your acceptance to the parts of yourself that maybe aren't your favorite and that you're working through, your acceptance to when life throws you curveballs, that's, I think, what therapy has at least given me, is like the ability to find acceptance and like the coping strategies when those difficulties come through. And the awareness and self-acceptance of, oh, that is a behavior that I learned from when I was young to cope through that negative time, and now it's showing up in like our relationship, and I'm coming to a place of self-acceptance of, that's here, and how can I learn to do differently? But it never is that you just, it's magically gone.
No.
I don't think that's possible. And I think that that's something that we see in media as like, therapy is something you come in when you're broken, your therapist fixes you, or if you do enough work, you'll be fixed, you'll be healed. And that's just like,
it's not how it goes.
Not how it goes. And I think that's why people get really discouraged or disappointed. Maybe it blinds them to like the growth opportunities that can be present. That's a tricky one.
Yeah, it is. And there's breakthroughs. Like, you can definitely have breakthroughs. But it's like peeling an onion. You'll come to more, you know?
We talk about that even still, where you're like, ugh, like, I'm in therapy and like I got through one layer and there's another one.
Yeah, that's how it happens. And I think yeah.
And I think that you also get to a point where you like feel a little bit more comfortable when those layers surface, where you're like, it's not as like overwhelming because you have that toolkit
Mhm.
in place, and you can kind of feel like, oh, there's another layer, but I've gotten through the other layers and I've grown so much. So
Yeah.
this is a learning opportunity versus like I'm in complete overwhelm.
Yeah. Generally speaking, when people think of going to therapy, they think, well, what type of therapist is it? You know? Like what people always ask me that, what type of therapy do you do? You know?
Okay.
And I think they really believe that matters a lot, which it does and it doesn't, I think. I think that, yes, there are different types of therapists. Like if you go to someone who specializes in CBT or someone who specializes in EMDR, it's going to be different. It's going to be quite different. But I think that what matters more is the therapist just, I think if the therapist is good at therapy, then those things aren't actually going to feel that different. What the experience isn't actually going to feel that different, you know? So it's like, how much does the style matter? For me, not that much. It shouldn't matter that much. Like it's all about, like at the core, it is about the connection that you're going to create with this other human, and their ability and your ability to work together to basically go into some really hard experiences for you. Like the reasons why you find it really difficult to walk through the world, and everyone's reasons are different. But whether it's CBT or EMDR or whatever, like again, it's going to matter, but it's not going to matter as much as people think.
Yeah, like the end result should still be that you feel comfortable and that counselor can be with you in that and follow you along with what works to get to the root of what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Because like they can be, but you know, they're the expert in CBT. They have all these CBT qualifications and trainings. So I feel like I should just give them another chance because they're so highly qualified. Not necessarily. If you don't connect, if you don't feel like they care, for example, I don't think it's really going to work. Like they can teach you skills, but you can learn that on YouTube. You can learn that in a textbook. Like the human element to therapy is, I think, the most important thing. The trust, the relationship, the safety that's created. I think those are the fundamental skills. And that, like, people, I think, need to sort of hold this idea that they need to find the right style for them, you know, and focus more on the actual therapist and what it feels like to be with them. You know, they're people. Like they need to have done their own work. And if they haven't, like you're going to pick up on something. You're going to pick up on like, I don't know, I felt a bit uncomfortable and maybe like they didn't really know where to take this or like, you know, yeah.
Yeah. I think you and I have experienced that. Like we were recommended a couples counselor and just did not work for us because that person seemed very intelligent,
super highly qualified, like, yeah, big time.
But you and I were both dissociating through it because she was just going so much into like education or like the science behind it.
Totally. Which is so cool. Like she knows, so she could recite this theory and talk about this branch of research, and that's amazing. But like, yeah, we were dissociating. We were like, we knew right away, oh, this isn't for us. Like this isn't going to work. She's not even listening. She's got her agenda and she's going to say her thing that she says every single time. And it's like a sales pitch. It's like, you're not hearing me. You're not listening. And that has to happen. And it's not a selfish thing. It's not like, listen to me. It's like, you need to be seen. Like your individual experience is gonna be so unique. Everyone's is, but that is a part of what makes it work. Is like someone really, basically you feeling like you're not alone. Someone being with you in your stuff, whether it's good or bad, you know? And if the person can't be with you in that, if you say a big thing and they're like, yeah, so blah, 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 and you're like, Okay, they didn't hear what I said. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel good.
Or if they're so stuck on like theory or explaining a skill
Yeah.
when you've like this is I'm just thinking about our experience. You shared something really vulnerable
Yeah.
and she went right into like theory and skill. And it's like,
Breezed right past it.
whoa, this person just shared something very vulnerable. Like
Yeah.
you and I value in therapy the person to be able to be like, wow, like thank you for sharing that. Like
Yeah.
how does it feel to share that? Like go to more of like the individual experience.
You got to acknowledge it.
Yeah. And I think that that's something that like counselors can lose because you go through schooling and you learn all the theory and you learn all the like skills and the right thing to do. And then you're doing a human experience.
Yeah.
Like you're sharing space with a human.
Yeah.
And
it gets clinicalized.
Yeah. And there's a time and a place.
There is.
But
you can't lose the human to human.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. And so if you are meeting with a new counselor and you feel like not seen in that or not heard, I think that is like a very, that should be an expectation going into counseling of like whatever theory they might share, maybe it'll resonate, maybe it'll not. But as long as I feel heard and seen by my counselor and like we're in this together, that I think is a fair expectation to have.
Totally. Yeah, I think so too. I think you should have it, you know, because if it does feel super clinical and like they're just kind of there to teach you, like that isn't, I don't think that's therapy. I think that's school. I think that's psychoeducation. And I don't think that is going to heal your deep stuff. I don't. Because like you can, it just seems like the most simple thing. Like let's say let's say you were in a car crash, right? Like a really bad car accident. And you came to me and you were like, I just can't drive anymore because I'm terrified that I'm going to crash again, you know? And I said, oh, simple, you know, your statistical chances of crashing are 1 in 86,000. You're good. The chances of that happening again are like being struck by lightning. Bye.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not like that. People don't work that logically. That won't just take your shit away because of the effect on your nervous system, because of your emotional sort of makeup. Like it isn't that simple. For me, someone comes in, I'm really sad. Okay, be happy. Like that, it doesn't work like that, you know?
I think that for my experience, it was helpful when I was younger to like have the words of like, what is anxiety? What is depression? And this can kind of look like that. Here's a little bit of context.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't matter. How are you?
Exactly.
That's where I think it can get lost in like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, where it's so much like, well, what's the evidence or what's your, like, what is the self-talk? And it's like, we're disregarding the feeling. We're disregarding the human connection that we're having right now. We're getting too cognitive about it.
Yeah. Teaching comes into play. Like there's a time, like people often say like they have social anxiety or I have social anxiety, or like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like everybody has social anxiety to a certain extent, like a fear in regards to people. Everybody has that in different ways, you know? So it's like, okay, well, to what degree? What is your social anxiety? Is it all social settings? Is it certain people? Like, so there's going to be like different ways. If I just say, oh yeah, cool, social anxiety, I'm kind of doing them a disservice if I don't bring in a different, like more clinical lens. And I'm like, okay, wait, what do you mean? Social anxiety, you know?
Yeah, you're not looking at them as a textbook. You're not looking at your client being like, oh, social anxiety. I remember I read this page. This is the symptoms. This is it. You're kind of like, it's in the back of your mind and you're like, but how does it show up for you? What does it look like for you? How does it impact you?
Yeah, but my point is like, like there is teaching sometimes, you know, like if someone, like people will just throw terms around like depression, anxiety and stuff like this. And I think there's times and places to be like, just so you know, like everybody has social anxiety because like I would probably define it this way. And if they don't agree, cool. But there's going to be times where I like wear that hat. But yeah, you can't lose track of the person because I've done this before. Like I've said, you know, like, this is actually quite a common thing, blah, 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 blah. And they just kind of shoot past it. Okay, cool. Like, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to go into that. So we're on to the next thing. And that happens. But, yeah, it's not like, I think there's an authority thing in it. Like, people will come to therapy and they see the counselor as the authority. They expect that. Like, they're going to be the authority. And that is like a tricky one. And I think that can go to like deeper places for people. I don't really see myself that way in counseling. I see myself as, I don't expect them to take care of me. I don't expect them to be able to know what is happening and why, or to keep track of it. They just need to come and be themselves. And I need to know what's going on and how to hold all this for them. Right. But that doesn't make me in charge necessarily. You know, I'm not the one that gets to decide, we're doing this, you're doing that, you know?
Yeah. And I think like we were always taught, like, the client's the expert.
Yeah.
You're not the expert.
Yeah.
You come in with some expertise.
Yeah.
But the client also comes with expertise of themselves.
The more important one.
Exactly. And so I think that's another expectation of, like, even though you're paying this person for a service,
Yeah.
you actually have a lot of choice.
Yeah, you should have all choice. Yeah. I think that's something therapists should be constantly doing, is checking in with the person to see how they're doing, how this is landing, because people will just let you go, you know?
Yeah, I've been like that, where I've been in session. I'm like, well, I really like my counselor, and I've resonated with what they've shared, and they're the expert because they have the master's degree and this is their job, so they must know the right answer. But then you'll get that kind of like inkling of like, but that what they said just didn't quite land, or like, or even sometimes like, I don't understand what they meant by that, right? Which we do as humans in conversation, where we're with friends or other people and we're like, I don't know what you meant by that. Totally. So it shouldn't be any different with your counselor just because they're in their position. No. And as a counselor, it's really helpful when your client is like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Because you're like, oh, cool. Like, let's pause. What's going on? Yeah. Versus like, you're on one tangent and they're on a completely different place. That's not helping anybody. No. It's a waste of your time as a client. Like, yeah. So I think like you said, it's important that you remember that you have choice as a client.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you should. You should always have choice.
What's it like when clients disagree with you?
It should be completely fine. It should actually be encouraged, I think. Like, the only thing, like, there's certain things you need to hold a firm line on, safety concerns, like child, and like people who can't look after themselves, safety concerns. Like, if someone was like, no, I'm not abusing my child by doing this, I might say, okay, I hear you, and, you know, blah, blah, blah.
So maybe I should say when it's a matter of like a client feels like they don't quite understand, or it doesn't resonate with what you're saying.
Happens every day.
Yeah.
Happens more often than not.
But do you feel like that's where the growth comes, when a client can say like, I don't quite get that, or that's not my experience?
Yeah, I think it's huge, because this comes down to, like, for me, one of the core things I'm doing, which is trying to encourage this person to be who they are, you know? And part of being who you are is coming to your own conclusions about yourself and the world, within reason, you know? Like, don't be a Nazi, or like, don't be a whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, don't be a shitty person. Don't go hurt people. Yeah. Don't go rob old ladies. You know, I'm never going to encourage that. I'm going to be like, yeah, okay, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. Why? Mm-hmm. What do you mean? You know, don't do that. Mm-hmm. But like, if it's arbitrary, if you don't agree with my definition of this, or if whatever, like, I'm going to encourage that, because even if I might not agree with the person, we don't all have to agree, and people are allowed to have different opinions, and it's good to encourage that.
Mhm.
I shouldn't be creating little mini me's out there. What I should be doing is facilitating like the growth of that individual person, pouring water on the plant and not thinking I need to know where exactly it's going to grow, just that it will, you know?
Yeah, I think like remembering as the client that like you're ultimately guiding the path of your therapeutic journey. Your therapist is on that journey with you and supporting you and giving you kind of the resources that you need along the way, but they're not the one that's living your life. They're not the one that's making all the decisions in your life. They're seeing you for an hour. Moo, moo, moo. We're in the pod room.
What do you think is the biggest problem when people come in, like for what to expect or what do you think people should have in their minds?
I think the biggest I can't.
Little cat, the littlest cat. Wish we had 3 cameras. One for Joe.
I think that the biggest challenge coming into counseling that you can kind of create for yourself is expectations that I'm going to just go and do the work and it's going to get better.
Yeah.
And I can just speak for myself on that. And I've had clients and friends that have always been, like, oh, you go to therapy and you think it's going to get better. And it does. But there are times where you peel the onion layer and you're like, oh, shit, that's there.
Yeah.
And it brings up a different feeling of like shame or guilt or something that you just weren't prepared to feel.
Yeah.
I've definitely gone into counseling being like, I'm having this issue and this counselor is the expert and they're going to tell me what to do and they're going to fix it and then I won't feel bad anymore. And it doesn't just work like that.
No.
There's
why doesn't it?
Because they're not the expert. Like they can't tell you what to do. If your counselor is telling you what to do, a lot of the time that's not so great because it's not helping you connect with that part of you that is able to be like, this is what's right for me. Like that gut instinct, that sense of trust, that sense of self-confidence. I remember asking my counselor one time when I was breaking up with my ex, I was like, can you just tell me if I should leave or not? And she was like, Maddie, I can't do that. But I left and I was so mad at her because I was just like, fuck you. Like I have to do this. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But she can't tell me what to do. She's not living my life.
Yeah.
She sees me for an hour every few weeks. I complain about the situation.
What if you knew her so well and you've been seeing her for years and years?
It's the same with a friend. Like I think a good friend, unless there's like actual concerns, like in the breakup example, I talked with a lot of friends about my relationship issues and none of my friends ever said you need to break up with them, because I think they also recognized there's a lot of complexity in this situation and ultimately I'm not living your life. And so I think when you go to counseling with the wish that it will immediately make things feel better, you're setting yourself up for disappointment that doesn't have to be there.
How long till it feels better?
It depends. Like I am seeing my counselor that I've been seeing for probably like a year and a half and it's gotten substantially better.
Yeah.
And then there's new parts that I didn't even know were there that make me feel like crap.
Yeah.
Because
speed bumps.
Yeah, because that's just part of growing, or the reality that like one thing will kind of be solved or resolved or I'll feel better about it. We've worked through it. I feel more at peace with that particular topic or issue. But then something else in life happens. Something happens with a friend, with work, with a partner, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I'm now faced with this conflict or this dilemma. This part of myself.
What about if you like want to like like we've been kind of going through this, like new things just keep coming up, and it's like, fuck, I didn't know that was there, didn't know that was there, another layer of the onion. What about just like taking a break for a while and all the self-work?
Yes. I went through a period many times. I've gone through these periods where I've been like, I just need someone to fix me. I need someone to give me the blueprint and I will do it and then I will feel better. And that just like doesn't really work. It can help. It's like it can help from more of like a resource like toolkit, or it can help to just know that you have a consistent person that you can go to. I would highly advise people having that relationship built with a counselor so that you don't have to be in crisis and try and find a counselor. That fucking sucks. But I think it's really important to also take space from the healing and doing the work. I think we get very focused on like doing the work, especially like women and like I just think that it's praised a lot, but we forget the importance of like integration.
What's integration?
Like,
how would you define?
How would I define integration?
Integration. Integration.
There's
not immigration. Integration.
There's been actually, I feel like I'm in that period right now where you and I have gone through things. I've done a lot of work on particular topics with my counselor. And I'm getting to the point where I just have this sense of like, I need to put it into practice. I need to just live life.
Put it into practice.
Practice it. You've worked it through with your counselor. You've got maybe the tools. You've got the language. You understand what's happening.
Yeah.
But now you need to actually put it into practice and like live it.
Yeah.
So, for example, she can talk to me about the importance of setting boundaries, speaking my needs, all of those things. If I can't put it into practice into my day-to-day life outside of therapy, I'm only going to get so far.
Yeah, you could talk every week about how good it is to set boundaries. What is a boundary? Blah, 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 blah. But
why is it hard for me? Who is it difficult with?
Yep. And then that time is going to come when that person says that thing or that family member does that thing where you're like, oh, I don't want to be a part of that. And then there it is. There's your boundary opportunity. Yep. And if you don't do that, do the work and integrate and practice, then it's just going to keep happening and you're going to keep feeling the same type of crud.
Yep. So I do think that it's important to have a counselor that checks in about like, how are you, every few sessions, like, how are you feeling with like the work that we're doing together?
Yep.
How are you feeling like this is coming into your daily life?
Yep.
Having those opportunities and knowing that you aren't committing to say you've come every week for 2 months. That doesn't mean that you're stuck in doing that schedule for the foreseeable future.
No, God, no.
You could never go back again.
No.
Could go back in 6 months.
Yep. There's times when I wanted weekly, twice a week. And then there's periods where I was like, I'm good for a couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's also a piece.
Hello, my boy. Hello, my boy. Hello, my baby boy. You got some sleep in your eyes. You do?
No,
I wish I had a
baby.
blanket for you. You do. There you go. Yes. Say hello to the people.
I do.
Say hello to the
Needs to rearrange.
Oh, it's a bit slippy.
Don't worry, Joe. Mom's gonna get you another good chair.
It just sucks ass. It's
Stupid.
ridiculous.
Notice how he never curls up in it?
He will. It's just, I need a...
Soft. It's not soft. It's cold and slippery.
Here it comes. It's as good as it's gonna get. Carry on.
I think another thing to be mindful of, me and my friend were talking about this because we have the same counselor. And
It's like 5 of them that have the same
we
counselor.
might
It's
all
awesome.
see the same counselor.
Maddie had her friends over like a few weeks ago, and they're all sitting in the living room. And I was like, "You see Alicia? You see her? You see her? You see her? You see her?" You guys just all start talking about her.
Yeah, little fangirls.
Yeah.
But like, she was expressing recently, like something had happened, and she was like, "Oh, I just like tried to book immediately. Like, can I see our counselor tomorrow?" And obviously didn't have anything available, and we were just laughing of that. Like, sometimes you do feel really good with your counselor, and you're like, "Oh, I should see them. Like, I have a problem. I need to see them."
Mhm.
And then by the time you actually have your appointment, you're like, I'm okay.
People say that to me all the time. They're like, "Well, when I booked the session, I was feeling not good. I
Yeah.
had that crisis, but I'm all right now."
And that's
They're
okay.
like, "I'm not even thinking about it," or they don't want to think about it.
True.
Yeah.
There's also the like, ugh, it's kind of settled enough. But I think that's something to be mindful of too,
Yep.
is when you start to feel that immediacy of like, I need, like every time there's something that comes up, I need to go and book with my counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Take a beat.
Yeah.
Because you probably can also, this is an opportunity for you to realize that you have been working so hard on all of these things and you are capable to manage this and you don't need someone else to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's another part of recognizing like your expectations with counselors is noticing when you might feel like a bit of a dependence on them. Like it starts to feel really good to go and talk.
Yep.
And that's great. But also like you're good by yourself too. Like you've done the work.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because I don't think it's the client's job to manage the dependency factor.
No.
It's if there is like a codependent thing going on, like that woman that we talked about yesterday who's working with the friend of the friend. That is an example of a practitioner creating a codependency, a very unhealthy one. And that person has no idea. They shouldn't. That's not their job.
No.
You know, if you want to access a therapist weekly for the rest of your life, awesome. You know, maybe that's really good. And there's times where you might want to access them every day for hours a day. And maybe that's a little bit too much, but you don't have to feel that. It's their job to explain to you why that might not be healthy.
Absolutely. I think the funny thing is the ultimate goal of a counselor is to essentially work themselves out of a job. Like
I agree and I don't.
Just in the theory of like,
I know what you mean.
That was something that was funny to me is like, ultimately you want the client to not need to come anymore.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, right? Yeah. You don't want it to go the opposite.
I think you want it to get to a point where you're doing maintenance.
Yes. Like.
You
want them to feel like they don't have to come. Like that there's not that dependency on it, right? They're not in crisis. You want them to be able to
have the skills themselves.
Yeah, totally. You want the choice
Yep.
to go to counseling whenever you want, not the need.
And that's partly why advice is just not the right move, because if you always give them the advice and they become so dependent and reliant on you to tell them what to do, that difficult choice of, do I quit my job? Do I stay? Comes up and they're like, I don't know. I don't know how to make this decision. That's why you encourage them to make the decisions that feel right for them. So they learn, which everyone is capable of this, like everyone.
And you wouldn't want to have that dynamic with a friend. You wouldn't want to have it with a parent. Like you want to be able to be confronted with choices, positive or negative, neutral, and be able to be like, how do I feel about this? Like, am I a little bit nervous? I can cope through that. Am I a little bit excited? I can cope through that too. But not feel like there's no sense of, I can do this.
Jen told me this quote once, and I don't remember the exact quote, but it was like, never rob someone of an opportunity for them to do something themselves.
Yes.
You know?
And that's, I think, something that's really hard for people that go into working in the helping field to do.
Oh, yeah. Because
savior complex.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you generally speaking, people who go into healthcare, got a lot of validation and value from being the helper in their family or in their friend group. So they have learned I am good when I help. So when someone asks for help, you want to give it because, yes, partly you want to help that person, but also because that's how you learn to survive.
Also, I think when you have experienced deep pain or struggle and you have had a positive person that was in a helping field, that was like, that kind of like saved you in a way, you want to do that for others. I think those two are huge.
That was yours, right? That's why you wanted to go into it.
Or you have a negative experience with like a counselor or a healthcare professional and no one helped you. So you want to be that for others. You don't want others to feel the pain that you felt. I don't know if I really know anybody that doesn't have a tie to that. That isn't that, like, when I think about my cohort from school and
that's
stuff.
That's why people go into it. I had I'll tell you after who it was. Yeah, don't talk about me. I had a friend who we were talking about counseling, and they're like, I was telling them about the perks, you know, the money's decent for what you do. It's, you know, not a ton of like bureaucratic work or whatever. You go do your session, write your note. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Difficult in that hour, but that's pretty much it in terms of like work. And they're like, oh, wow, that sounds like pretty nice. Like maybe I should go into it. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, yeah, like it sounds like something like, you know, and they're kind of like interested, and they're like, and I'm like, I don't see it for this person personally. And I'm like, let me just ask you a question. Your job during the day is someone comes in and they will talk about the greatest difficulties of their life for an hour straight. And you are not to care about your own. You are to care about theirs and talk about theirs for that hour. Does that sound appealing to you? And they're like, no.
Whereas I'm like, yes.
Yeah. And like, it's comfortable at least for people who, you know, had those sort of dynamics within their family. It's comfortable.
When you're the nurturer, you're the caretaker. Yeah.
When someone says that to me, I'm like, I know how to do that.
Yeah.
Like that's second nature.
Yeah.
You know?
Do we do it in a healthy way? Not always.
Yeah, not always.
Is it for a healthy reason? Not always.
Not always.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think people should expect going to see a counselor or a therapist?
You should be able to say whatever you want, whatever you need, period. And if you feel uncomfortable with the therapist, you should be able to say so. If you disagree, you should be able to say so. If you don't like what they're saying, you should be able to say so. And if you feel that they get defensive, they get judgmental, don't go back. And it's not to say that that is how your relationship should be, but that is what a therapeutic relationship, a therapist relationship is it's not about the therapist. It's not. It's about you and what you are going through. It is a deep dive exploration into you. That's the point, you know? So if you feel like their shit is bumping up against yours, it's not going to be good. It might be okay, but like there's going to be a limit on what healing you're able to attain, you know? Like with mine, and I'm lucky I've got a really, really good one. There's things that I've said to her that would trigger 99% of people, you know, especially women, like just being straight up. And I say it and I'm like, and she goes, you're afraid that I'm judging you right now? And I'm like, yes. She goes, okay. And then we sit with that and we talk about that and we process that. That becomes a part of the therapy. But she has to have her shit so dialed in and so worked that stuff, even if it triggers her or whatever, she's got it here and it doesn't enter our zone. Because when it does, like, that is just bad practice. It's just bad practice.
I think that's, as you're saying it, one of the defining features of why, like, a therapeutic relationship is different than any other kind of conversation you're going to have with another person.
100%. It is.
Because I think that a lot of people can relate to talking with someone in their life and it feeling therapeutic in a way.
Yeah.
They're able to share, they're able to be heard, validated, seen, supported.
Yeah.
All of that is therapeutic. But the main difference is that this individual that is in the therapeutic role does not, it's not that they're not a person with their own life, but that is outside the door.
Yeah.
And they're not letting it come in.
Exactly. Because like, and this is what happens when that doesn't happen. Like, okay, let's say you're going through a divorce. Okay. Funny because I'm your husband. You're going through a divorce and so is the therapist.
Yes.
Okay. So you come in and you're talking about how stressed out you are about your divorce. But you're kind of at peace with it. Like it's stressful, but you're like, I need to move on from this person. It's not working for me. And I'm like, wow, I'm going through a divorce too. And then you ask, what would you ask?
Oh, what's that like for you?
Fucking terrible. It is not good. Like we're trying to figure out splitting the house and like what's going on with the kids. And immediately you feel like,
I have to take care of you.
You have to take care of me. And so right there, if that occurs, whether you're aware of it or not, subconsciously, that will affect your ability to bring your stuff from there on out. Because you will have it in the deep corners of your mind or maybe at the very front that you're going to upset them and that like you're going to withhold. And that is good if you're in a friendship, good if you're in a relationship, maybe, not necessarily. Normal. But that's going to block your stuff. That's going to block your healing, which is the goal, is your healing. So I can't let mine get in there. It's not the time and it's not the place.
Yeah. And that as a counselor can be really hard.
Oh yeah. It's the hardest.
I think that's a really difficult one because the counselor is a person and they are going through difficult things. And everybody has bias. Everybody is going to. And that's okay to have. Like all of that is okay.
You'll never eliminate it.
No, it's not a matter of to be a good. Sorry, I'm just waiting for you. It's not a matter of being a good therapist means you don't have any bias and you don't have anything going on in your life. It's just that you are able to check it at the door and that you are able to see the person in front of you as the person that needs to be kind of like in the spotlight.
Yeah, for sure.
And you cannot let that.
It's like if a masseuse halfway through the massage asked you to rub them down. Just straight up.
I'm thinking like a doctor. Like a doctor comes in and is only asking you questions about you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And I think we've all had a practitioner in some way, counseling doctor, something where all of a sudden it's felt like, whoa, like I thought we were talking about me, or that doesn't seem like your expert's opinion. That seems like a personal opinion.
Yeah.
And trust that.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's one thing when you're meeting any counselor, even if you've been with seeing counselor for a long time, if you start to get that kind of like feeling, trust that.
Yeah.
Because it's not you.
No, that's you're supposed to. Like you're supposed to have those thoughts and feelings and whatever's, but yeah. They and that's a hard thing to do, and it's a hard thing to find because it requires that therapist does a lot of work on themselves and knows those aspects of themselves, and is able to take you to the places that they were once very not okay with going to. Which is like, I remember my first year of being a counselor and watching the tapes back, just thinking like, how did I miss that? What the fuck? Why didn't I ask about that? Like, what was I doing? And Jen would point it out. She's like, what's going on for you there? I was like, oh, I'm obviously very uncomfortable.
I'm sweating profusely.
I'm highly uncomfortable. And she goes, yeah, no, okay. So what's going on there? And I'm like, well, I don't know how to talk about that stuff. So she's like, okay.
Love Jen. Watching yourself, which is so funny because that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
But watching yourself role play being a counselor, watching yourself do that skill
it wasn't even role play though. These were real sessions.
Oh, I was a baby counselor
Oh yeah, you just did.
because so I didn't have real people.
Still though, it's like it's the same ish.
Well, I did have real people. I just wasn't under enough supervision.
Yeah.
Oh, let's just feed her to the wolves. Let's just get her going. Hold on. You have working through difficult experiences. I feel like we touched on that.
Yeah, that's pretty much the nature of therapy. You might go there to just celebrate. And I think like as you become more experienced and work through a bunch of stuff, the successes come more. And it's like, and some days you don't have it in you you don't want to go into all that deep, dark stuff and you want to talk about the successes in your life. And that's great. Like,
Yeah.
I think that is as valuable as talking about the hard stuff. But you will not get the deep healing by just going there and thinking positive.
Yeah.
And just like, there's like that kind of stereotypical archetype dude on like the motivational speaker dude, who's like, you just gotta just shift your mindset to positivity and just don't let those negative thoughts enter. Just for some things that'll work, but not for the deep stuff. It just sits there and it operates on a different level. You can't access it through that. It doesn't make it go away, or it doesn't resolve it.
You can't really think your way out of feeling.
No, not the really, really deep stuff, or else everyone would be happy. Literally.
You and I would be thrilled.
Yeah. It's so simple. It's like, if that really worked, everyone would be happy because everyone knows they should be happy. It's better to be happy. Being sad sucks. So just be happy. Think about the good.
If only.
Yeah. It doesn't work like that.
No.
Like if you, depending on the severity of the trauma, and when I say trauma, I mean the overwhelming experience to your system, which goes anything, right? Losing your favorite pencil to having the shit kicked out of you, walking out of your house and just being jumped, like awful, The severity of the trauma will be an equal and opposite reaction in terms of how that affects your system. So the more shit you go through, the more stuff you're going to have to tease apart and work out and heal essentially. And like, it's not about having a strong mind.
No, it's really not. It's not about like it's not about finding the secret code or just trying. You just need to try harder or you need to read more self-help books. All of those may play a role in you feeling better and healing.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it does take time. It does take a lot of vulnerability. It takes a lot of trying and failing too.
Yeah.
Like just thinking about things that I'm working on of like setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Every single time I am putting that into my daily practice, it brings up a new emotion. It's, I'm remembering a time where my boundary was pushed in this relationship. Oh, this is scary because of the response that I'm getting from this person. All of this is new information.
Yeah.
And so it's not a matter of like, I just have to keep trying and like stay positive. It's this constant like washing machine of information of just like, there's another part. There's another part.
And to like, I guess, break it down real simply in the way that like your thoughts they can't just take it all away. It is like a concrete example is like, if you go again, like through a car accident or something, your body is going to have a response to that, a fear response and potentially a shame response, depending on what happened. If you don't process that emotion, if you don't let that emotion ride out, it won't process. And like some things you do process and are easy to process, like the loss of a job. Let's say you get canned or whatever, and then you get a new job a few months later and it still kind of hurts, but you've gone through the thing, you talk to some friends. It's like, I'm at peace with it. It's happened for the best. It doesn't take up space in your brain and in your heart anymore. But there are certain things that people do not process because they're not given the space, the time. it's too complex to work out their shame, which isolate. People don't talk about the things that they're ashamed of because it's so shameful. So they isolate, and therefore those things don't process. So they stick in you. And where they are, I don't fully know, but they're there, and they will affect you. They will affect your, like, the way that you talk to yourself, your ability to sleep, your motivation, like your relationships, the way you feel about yourself, everything. And therapy lets you process those experiences, you know, and do it with someone, which that's the way to do it, is to do it with another human being. There's something about that that's like necessary. Those really, really deep, dark ones, you know, like you need someone who knows what they're doing for that stuff.
I read a book called Burnout when I was burned out, by Emily. Not going to be able to pronounce her last name properly.
Try your best. Try it in an accent.
Nagawaski. Burnout is
Nagasaki?
No. And it talked about, I'm going to really simplify it, because I don't really remember all of the like very scientific parts of it, but it was basically like the stress response cycle. How like in kind of more hunter-gatherer times, if there was something like you were getting chased by a lion and you survived, you'd come back to your community, your village, and everyone would celebrate and everyone would take care of you, and like you would be able to kind of go through that stress cycle. You'd be able to kind of complete the circle. But so much of our daily life stressors, we never get that chance to actually be able to process it. So it just kind of like keeps not finishing the cycle. And I found that really interesting, where it's like, and some of her examples were like, sometimes then you cry, or you have to have a big scream, or you need to talk with someone. Sometimes you need to like dance it out. Like all these kind of more
ways that you work it out of your system.
It's somatic kind of experiences. Time obviously is a factor. There's it's not just you can check it off your list and that stress cycle is complete.
No.
But I think something that happens in our society a lot is something traumatic or hard or overwhelming happens, and we have to stuff it back down. And if we're constantly just stuffing and stuffing and stuffing, our nervous system is so upset with us, and we have all of these other...
Just build up, like add more to the pile, more to the pile.
And that leads to anxiety, depression, health, everything.
Your system is overwhelmed by negativity, like negative experience and responses, and like stress hormones.
Yeah. And so being able to go into therapy is one way that you can kind of complete that cycle and be able to allow your body to fully process it on a deeper level, maybe EMDR, or other somatic practices where you can kind of embody that experience in a safe way again to release it. Those are things that you're not going to be able to just think positive through.
No. And you don't even know what some of your stress cycles are because you had to bury them so deep because some of them are so painful. Like an easy example is like, you know, people who went through real bad abuse, forgetting most of it when they were young, because it's too overwhelming and painful to think about. So your subconscious, or you literally relegate it to your subconscious so deep down that you can't even consciously access it. But that stress cycle, as you're saying, is still affecting you on a subconscious level. And it can manifest through dreams, through like physical ailments. Like Gabor Mate talks about this in his books, like how all these people with these really devastating physical illnesses all went through really crazy like emotional traumas and like physical traumas. And it's their body's way of like, well, it's their body is showing the stress through cancer or whatever it is, you know?
Addiction. Yeah. Just shutting down on these kind of weird ways.
Yeah, you'll come to realize like, holy shit, I didn't even know that was affecting me. I didn't even know I cared about that. I didn't even know that made me sad, or I was ashamed of that, because your mind doesn't want you to know. It wants you to think about the day-to-day. I'm stressed enough with my job and with my girlfriend or with this or with that, you know. It's like, I don't want to think about my childhood shit. But unfortunately, it is still affecting you because, those stress cycles.
And I think like, if you're like listening to this and you are feeling even just overwhelmed at the thought of maybe
Yeah.
there are some things that
Right.
I know are kind of operating and impacting me, like your body did a really fucking amazing job by protecting you this far.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Protection is a good thing. The fact that it's in there in a safety deposit box in your subconscious, it's okay that it's there.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's not you avoiding or
No.
forgetting or doing anything on purpose. It's
It's
truly working the way that it's supposed to. Yeah.
adaptation.
And if you are thinking about going into counseling or even just talking to a friend about it or something, like you don't have to just rip off the Band-Aid and have it all come out.
Yeah.
And a good counselor
Won't let you.
Yeah.
That's so important because it's not about getting it all out in the first session and just saying it. Because like Jen taught us this in our practicum, and it's a really difficult skill. Like someone will come in and they don't know what a boundary is. They don't know a healthy beginning to a relationship. So they'll just start spewing all their trauma. And it's like, you don't want to shut them down because you want them to be able to talk about it. But am I even doing this person a service right now? Because are they even like conscious of what they're sort of like in? Are they even in the experience, or are they just kind of like, and then I was just like, and just for an hour straight.
Yeah.
So yeah, a good counselor will slow you down and let you take manageable bite-sized chunks out of your stuff where you're not tackling everything in one day. And the slower, the better, actually. Because I think most people are used to pushing through things. It's my nature. I still go through this with Jen where I'm like, she's like, how are you doing? I'm good. I'm ready to go. Okay. And she doesn't quite trust me. And I'm like, Jen, I'm good. I'm fine. She goes, okay, I'm just gonna, and she's perfect about it. And I'm like, and then 5 minutes later, I'm like, okay, fuck no, I'm super overwhelmed. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just too much for today.
Yeah.
And that is, some people are going to listen to that and think pussy or that's like bit whatever. And it's like, okay, think that's okay. Like whatever, maybe that's your thing. Maybe that's what you got to do. But I think especially for people who are used to pushing, it's a really valuable skill to be able to slow yourself down and to know that like, okay, maybe I am super stressed with this and I want to take this extra thing on because I'm used to it, but maybe I'm just not going to take that thing on. Maybe I don't need to do that. And maybe some people do, and you're super high achiever and you get a ton of money and awesome. That's what you do. Cool. That's how you want to live. I want to be happy and healthy. And for me, those things don't coincide. Yeah. I'm not going to be Superman and take on all the shit. I don't want to. I want to be able to be peaceful. And so I need to learn how to slow down because I'm used to pushing through. Doesn't have to be how you operate, but for people with athletic backgrounds, for people who are just used to pushing through things, perfectionists, learn how to slow down. It's going to be good.
Yeah. And I think like what we were saying earlier about wanting to go in and fix it.
Yeah.
You might feel that urgency to like.
Yes, you will. You absolutely will. I still do.
Me too.
Like you'll want to make, like people always say, I want to be productive.
Yeah.
Here. I want to be productive.
Yeah. I have that with my counselor still where I'm like, I just will start telling her all of the story and like the context.
Yeah.
And she does a great job where she's like, because that's my comfortable space is to like talking about obviously. But like
talking about it and feeling it are two different things.
Yes. And so what she will do is she'll be like, pause, like, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah.
Because basically what I'm doing is even though I'm talking about it, I'm not processing it. I am slightly dissociated, just feeding her the facts, and I'm not feeling any of it. So
which is not going to let those stress cycles you're not going to feel the emotions that you needed to feel. You're not going to be, because you're not connected to the experience. You're just talking about it.
It's almost like ruminating over it by yourself. It's just like, you're just spinning your wheels. And another thing is like, sometimes you don't actually have to tell the story in a lot of depth.
No.
So if that scares you or makes you feel concerned about going to therapy and having to like go through the details,
yep,
a good counselor will also be able to Like, for example, mine, I had like a traumatic experience. She was like, I don't need you to retell me the story.
Mm-hmm.
You can share whatever details you want to, but just know you do not have to go into the details.
Mm-hmm.
Walk me through what it felt like, or what has lingered, or the experiences that you're physically having now.
Talk about what you want to talk about.
You do not have to go in and tell the whole story. And if it ever feels overwhelming, you have the right to be able to say, I need a break.
Totally.
Pause.
Yeah. And they should be keeping track of you.
Yes.
In that sense. But yeah, you do. Like you can stop whenever you want. And I think it's a good thing to do, is to be able to say, like, I'm super proud of my people when they're like, I think that's enough for me today.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Great.
Yeah.
Because why do we just keep, we push in so many other ways in life. We don't need to be doing it there.
Yeah. It's such a cultural thing now, I think, like, especially in the place that we live and our access to media. It's all about doing the next thing, being the next thing. You got to do this to be this. You got to do that. You know, it's all just like competitive culture.
Yeah.
And competition breeds progress. And that's what we're all trying to do, is like, I got to proceed. I got to get better. I got to, yeah. Okay. Like that's a cool thing that humans do. And we all need a certain amount of that, but I think we're overdoing it.
Yes.
Like very, very much so. Yeah. It's hard to rest. You and I find it difficult to rest.
Literally today and yesterday. Yeah. I was like sick yesterday and I'm like, oh, but I can't. You were like, can you sit down?
Yeah.
And then today,
same.
You were doing it. And I was like, you need to sit down.
Yeah. And I was hard on myself because it was Sunday and got to do a lot of like not so much fun stuff tomorrow. And just wanted to like have a really productive day. But don't really need to. All the time. And if you want to, you do. But my
time
point,
and place.
Yeah, and you get to choose. Like, you should be able to know that you don't have to. Your value does not depend on your productivity. It doesn't. You get to decide what your value is, in my opinion, and kind of like what you do want to be and contribute to the world. Like, you do kind of get to make that choice. I think everyone would agree with that. And if you don't, then you're kind of like living in communism, essentially, I think. Yeah.
I don't know what communism. Gotta cut that out.
Oh, I didn't cut that out. Communism? It's like the opposite of.
Is that when you just like don't have choice?
Yeah, like a communist government is like. Or communism is like everyone, no one, like, it's the opposite of capitalism. Like, no one can excel and exceed. So there's like a cap, like we'll be cutting this for sure.
Two idiots.
So politically stupid. Like, holy. Yeah, like we live in capitalism.
Right. Everybody's trying to get to the top. Communism is like.
Well, you're allowed to get to the top.
Right.
In a communist like
is it Russia?
Cuba, I don't know, Russia, it's China, or like socialism, like essentially communism, but socialism is like universal basic income. Like, everyone gets a certain amount of income and everyone sticks to that, right? So that's an interesting idea. Like, but I don't, like, to my understanding, it hasn't really worked in history, like, because. Okay, in theory, it makes sense. I actually like the idea of, like, I see people on the street, people see them as homeless sometimes, and it's like, no, they've had a really rough life. They're there for a reason. Like, it'd be nice if they had,
equal access.
Yes. However, I would like the ability to proceed if I want to,
I think it would be really nice if we all could, at the baseline, afford a roof over our head.
I think
and food.
That's what I want too, is like basic needs met.
Yeah.
Everyone should have food, water, shelter.
Maslow's hierarchy.
Yeah. Yeah. Have the bare minimum taken care of.
And then you can keep growing if you want.
Totally.
But that's not taking away from others.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, no. There's people who know about business out there just being like, these fucking idiots, stick to therapy.
Can't even do that, right?
Yeah.
But I did make prawn cream sauce pasta.
What'd you do with my prawn cream sauce?
You know what? I actually am enjoying cooking.
Really?
We'll see how this lasts.
What are you enjoying about it? I'm just gonna validate you here. Positive reinforcement.
I
Pavlov's dog. Good girl.
Good girl king.
Good girl.
Yeah, I'm liking cooking because I can do it well if I have a recipe.
When you cook, you're a good cook.
Yeah,
Sometimes you're like you will burn things. That's maybe your one thing.
but that's when I don't have a recipe
Yeah.
to like hold me.
Yes.
Like when I'm just like, oh, I'll just do this, and then I don't care.
Yeah.
But cooking for you, like I want it to turn out well, and
Yeah.
I'm making a recipe that like your mom's made,
Right.
so then I want to do it to her,
Yeah.
like as close to that, so I care more about it.
Yeah. That makes sense because every time you've cooked for me, it's been really good.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you cook for yourself, I'm like,
I'm like, it's fine.
Today
It's charred.
Cooking Bailey's meat. I'm like, turn it down. Like, are you trying to burn the house down?
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, you're a good cook. I think you generally cook steaks better than I do.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, pretty cool from a vegetarian.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Please subscribe.
Oh, that's the one thing I was never going to say. Oh, but because we don't want to go to work. Please subscribe.
Yeah, literally.
Please subscribe.
Please like and subscribe because I don't want to have to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah. Would love to just talk for a living. Can't wait to make my definition videos. You gonna watch them all?
Am I gonna watch them all?
So we can speak the same language. Imagine. I'm like, Maddie, is it fair if, for us to be on the same page and everything for our podcast, if you were to watch my definition videos?
I'd be like, suck your own cock.
And you were like, yeah, that seems fair. I'm like, good. And then you agree to do it. And then it's 4 hours and 26 minutes of me breaking down the difference between a thought and an emotion. Can you imagine? Imagine actually trying to sit through that.
Oh, I'm wearing makeup. No thanks. Love you. You're so smart. Everything that you have to say will be so valuable. But I'm not gonna watch it.
No. Nico might.
Oh, you and Nico will.
Nico would nerd out with me about that stuff.
I don't care so much about definitions.
I know.
I like to just.
I know. And there's a time and a place. But if we're going to create a better world, like, how do we communicate with each other if we don't know English? Right? Right? We need the same, but think about this fundamentally, okay? Think about it. Just try it on. Imagine living in a world where you don't know the same language as the people you live with. Okay? And now apply that to mental health.
Yeah. Okay. But
yes,
on Survivor, when the indigenous people come to teach the cooking and how to live off the land, they don't speak English, and everyone shares a beautiful meal at the end of the day and learns so much.
That's a great example. That's awesome. You should do your own series on. You should do a series on countering my definition.
Oh my god!
Just going back and forth. Your rebuttal video. Be funny.
What would happen if I started a YouTube channel and it got better than yours?
I mean, I'd be happy.
Would you be a little bit jealous?
Genuinely, honestly, no.
Really?
No, I wouldn't at all. I'd love it.
What could I do?
Maddie, you're the competitive one.
What could I do that would make you jealous?
like,
Question game.
I don't know about jealous, like envious potentially, like more from like a, like if you decided to write, I think you'd be really good at it. And I think your advantage over me is you would not be in your head as much as I would be with writing. I can't write because I sit down, I try to write something and I'm like, I need to define that. But then I need to define this.
Do you have autism?
Baptism. So when you write and when you speak even, it flows a lot better. It's a lot easier to like listen to and comprehend. I think sometimes when I speak, I get lost in the weeds a little bit, you know, the ADHD thing. So it wouldn't be jealousy, it would be like envy a little bit, like, oh, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would be stoked for you and for us because it would help us. Like there's a selfish component in there too. It's like,
no, that's fair.
But no, not really. Like I can't really think of one.
There's nothing that like you feel protective over. Like remember when we were talking about like if you got really good at running, I'd be like, that's my thing.
I do remember. Yeah, I don't think I have that.
You don't have any of that. Oh, you're so nice.
I think it's just like I feel like I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at.
Ugh, you're so confident.
If you got really good at jujitsu, like if you were able to beat me in like a fight, that would be more just like difficult for me to like comprehend ego wise.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I don't know. If you wanted to become the ultimate fighter, you know, it'd be whatever. But I don't think it'd be jealousy. At that point, it would be insecurity.
Is mine jealousy or insecurity? I think mine's more insecurity than jealousy.
Yours is insecurity. It is. But you just don't really have as much of a hold over it. So it comes out as jealousy. It does.
What do you mean I don't have a hold on?
Because you literally don't want me to run a half marathon.
You can run a half marathon. You can.
But
I will be.
What if I got better at pottery than you? Or yoga?
Well, I think I know you could get better at yoga than me, and I know you could get better at running than me. Pottery would be a hard one because I've been doing it for so much longer.
Well,
and it's like a ego thing.
Obviously, I would need to like catch up in experience.
Yeah.
But let's say I do.
What's the question?
Folks, this is a classic example of dissociation. Approach a overwhelming topic for someone and they start to check out a little bit. They start to lose their train of thought. Their brain has protected them from the emotional overwhelm.
Oh my God, do you want to do definition videos and I'll be your little monkey?
my little guinea pig. So for today's topic, we're going to trigger Maddie. We're going to go through trigger.
Oh my God, so easy to do.
If I got better at pottery than you. You asked me, is there anything I could...
No. My question was... My question was that I can't... you said something about like I can't not manage it, but like...
It is insecurity, ultimately. And I... Like, yes, it's insecurity. But what it comes out as is like a jealous thing. Like you're not so in touch with the fact that you're insecure about it. And you're not really that able to like manage that insecurity.
I can't admit it.
But you're not okay with it.
Yeah.
Like I can be insecure that people in jiu-jitsu are better than me. And I am. Like oftentimes I'm like, Jesus Christ. But that's a hard one for me actually, but I'm okay with it. It's like when it happens, it's like they're better. It's okay. I have made peace with that. And it's not going to take up that space in my,
So when someone's okay, you have to cut this.
Okay. It'll come out in the blooper reel in 3 years.
If someone's better at me, my insecure voices will like point out other things that like, well, I'm good at this though.
Yeah,
Like
we all do that.
like a defensive kind of like
Of
meh,
course.
versus I can't just be like, wow, that person's better than me and like be at peace with that. Is that what you mean? I'm not.
Well, I think like I do that too, and I think we all do. But I think the difference is like you're not that okay with it happening.
Right.
Like, so let's say I do that. Let's say someone in jujitsu beats me, and I'm like, well, I'm better at baseball than them.
Right.
You know, I can notice me.
I am prettier than them.
Sure. I can notice me say that. And then the next thing I'll say to myself is, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you know, I'm like, I know that I'm being self-protective.
Yeah.
Like, I think for you on a level, you know, but you don't want to admit it and you don't want to go into it.
No.
You don't like to admit that like you're not perfect or that you're like, you have those nasty thoughts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like if someone is better and you're like, you know what to say, you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. But like deep down, maybe you're like, fuck that person. But it's that inability to recognize that it's okay to want to feel fuck that person that actually makes it worse for you. You know?
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. Because both are trying to like one is you. The reaction of like, let's say I get better at running or I get really into running and I run a marathon next month. The real you, the self, Maddie, is going to be happy for me.
Yes.
And then there's going to be a protective part of you that is going to surface because ultimately what that does is ultimately threatens the connection between you and I because it thinks that it makes you seem inferior, which is going to make me perceive you as inferior, which is going to disrupt our connection. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to know that that's normal,
Mm-hmm.
that your brain is going to do that and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to feel like, I don't like that Matt did that. And then you can't let it stay there though. You need to ask, okay, I noticed that I did that. Why am I doing that? Oh, it's because I don't want him to think less of me. You need to make peace with that. Peace with your bad parts, you know?
Yeah, that's true. It's if you were to do something like, yeah, like run a marathon, it wouldn't be like, I don't even want to run a marathon. But it's the ego part of me feeling like, well, I'm not good enough. It hits on that wound. And like, if I'm not, like, shut up. There it is. There it is.
I got her, folks. Therapy works.
Oh, yeah, it's the being perceived as that wound, being perceived as not good enough. I don't really actually give a shit if you like, in the sense of like, it doesn't make me any, I know it doesn't make me any less than. I know you don't see me as less than, but the vulnerability of being like,
well, some of you knows that and some of you doesn't.
Yeah.
The hurt part of you doesn't know that.
Exactly.
And that's the one that's chirping at you.
Yeah.
But the genuine part of you, the adult, real core you knows that. Yeah. But not all of you, you know? But that part of you that doesn't know that needs to know that it doesn't have to right now.
Yeah.
Even that is okay. You don't have to be totally okay with this. Like, I notice all the shitty judgments and thoughts I make about myself and people throughout the day. But there has to be some like level of just understanding that that's what people do. And there's a good reason. Yeah. You know? It's harder for women though, I think, because women have this expectation that they're nice. Yeah. You know, if a woman is judgmental, she's a bitch. Yeah. If a guy is judgmental, he's
a man. Like you're just a person.
Yeah. Well, it's like, oh, you don't like that, but it's not as bad somehow. Because there's like these cultural expectations that are different, I think. Yeah. And it's not all that, but it's partly, I've noticed, like men have a little easier job sometimes being like, I fucked up. Yeah. Fuck. Sorry. You know? Or like, oh, shit.
I think that women, I at least perceive this like, it's like a strike against me. Like people will keep a tally. Whereas like I don't think men have to worry about the strikes against them as much. Yeah. Or in the same ways. Like
Yeah.
it probably comes up for men
Yeah.
in different circumstances, but in that like day-to-day, like
Women are judged more for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that women are judged more of like, well, she's, she wasn't very welcoming, or she wasn't very, like, it wasn't a good host, or she
Exactly.
wasn't,
God
this
forbid.
wasn't perfect, or this wasn't that.
Whereas a
And
guy walks in the room,
yeah,
it's like, what's up, dude?
yeah,
It's
no
normal.
big deal.
No.
All these kind of
But a
just
woman
little,
does that. It's like, did you hear her pass gas? You know?
yeah,
Different.
interesting.
Yeah.
That was a good little, you should make that into a clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me making you cry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like how you explained what was going on was like really good. Yeah.
Cool.
That is what I like.
What?
You get into this, like, whatever happened, you just were like spouting it off. You get into like counselor mode, but you're not really paying attention to how like natural it is for you. And that is what I find really interesting. Like if I was to view a video or something, you weren't talking in a like expert way because you were just like in your moment.
Interesting. I don't even know how to like tease apart the two. I feel like it's the same.
How did it feel saying that to me while being on camera?
It's really interesting to me because I really like showing this stuff to people because it's all normal for me. It's all like things that we can all learn about ourselves that is just like useful in day to day. And we've learned certain things about ourselves and how we are that are incorrect and that don't actually serve us. And like the function of the behaviors is different than what we were taught.
Yeah.
So when I talk about it, like I'm a little nervous because I don't want, like usually when you talk like that to people, they react. They don't like being that exposed, you know?
No, and I know. And that was a moment where like, I really like.
You're curious.
I was curious about it because
yeah.
Like teasing apart jealousy versus insecurity, or like how they're maybe both there or slightly different. I was like, oh, what is happening for me?
Yeah.
And your explanation was like really cool and like very concise. And
you think that's different than how I like usually talk on this?
You didn't seem in your head.
Yeah.
I don't think that you don't talk like that in this, but I think maybe what's been happening is you get ahead of yourself. And you're like, I want to explain it perfectly or accurately or whatever.
Yeah.
There was something energetically about you saying that explanation about like the parts and stuff that just felt very natural.
I think it was like a lot easier because it's a specific example. We're talking about you.
Totally.
So I can break down exactly what's happening and why.
Okay.
Whereas when we're talking about other things, it's so general.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can give examples from my life, but like, I don't know. But when you bring something up, you're like, why do I do this? I'll break that down all day because I bet I could figure it out, you know, if I haven't already thought about it, like chances are. And so it's just easy to stay on that track because I know exactly where I'm going.
That could be a cool thing to like do the odd video on. Me as the case study.
I would love to do that.
Like, that could be a cool thing of like me coming, like not coming to you for counseling, but like being like, I'm struggling with this, like, or this is something that I do. And have you define or break down what it is with that kind of like human example.
Totally. I mean, that's what I wish therapy was in a way.
Totally. And I think that like,
that's why it was so cool for me is because you were curious. Like you wanted to know. You weren't afraid of what I was going to say, you know? And if people can lean into curiosity in that way, like the sky's the limit. But you need someone who's not going to be shitty. Like if I were to say, you have to be better, you have to be able to do this.
Yeah, and I think it's like it has to be a moment where we're both good.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
obviously it's not cancer and
Mhm.
clam.
I love what you're thinking.
Ugh,
No idea how good it sounds.
that was terrible.